What's up, scarred ones? It's Johnny. And this is the first of our intensive care episodes. Now, we're all familiar with an intensive care unit, right? These episodes are going to be tagged as ICE for short, hence the title ICE1. So, during our off weeks, periodically we'll be airing one of these to go over some reviews, maybe some special offers, and maybe some really cool contests. Essentially, when you're playing this episode, it's not going to interfere with what's going on with the story, and if anything is going to, it'll be marked spoilers. And usually we'll be talking about that towards the end of the episode, as we will be in this one. An intensive care unit, after all, is, to take care of those critically injured patients, and we know what the people in our stories go through. So, with that, let's get started. First thing on today's agenda is our first contest. Now, we've put a lot of thought, a lot of time and effort into what we wanted to do for our first contest for Sirenicide, and I think you're really going to like this one. So, this contest is going to be part of our Support is Crucial. Now, Support is Crucial is something you hear me say constantly, and I'm going to continue saying it because I really like saying it. But it's the truth. And this is going to be the first leg of that support. The review contest is going to be kind of like a review grab contest. You might be familiar with those if you listen to other podcasts. And essentially, if you've put off reviewing our show and you just need that extra little push, well, this is going to send you right over the cliff. So Sirenicide is going to be running a 4-week-long contest. It's going to have a fantastic grand prize for the sole winner. Starting today, October 26th, all the way to November 23rd, any review posted on Apple Podcast, Facebook, or our Patreon page will automatically be entered into a drawing pool that, again, one sole single winner will win. Now, if you're driving, let me go and repeat that for you. That's Apple Podcast, Facebook, or the Patreon page. So, when you get a chance, go to those. If you're just at the desk right now, why don't you go ahead and click open a browser tab and start doing your review. Because there's 3 ways to be entered by all 3 of those outlets. So if you just review us just on Apple Podcast, that's enough to get you in. But if you review us on Facebook, that's a second entry. And if you take that next step and go to our Patreon page and become a member, which again only costs $1, that'll be your third. What you'll do on the Apple Podcast and the Facebook ones, it's very simple. You're just going to go on the Apple Podcast app, search for Sirenicide. Even though you're subscribed to us, you still have to go search for us. You'll see where it shows reviews, and then it'll ask you to write your own. Once you're there, you can write the review. Bam. Once it posts, you're automatically entered. Now, Apple Podcasts sometimes takes a few days to post your review. So if this contest ends on the 23rd, so you're going to want to make sure you go there and make sure that you have plenty of time to get that review. That way it's posted. That's going to be by 3 p.m. Central Standard U.S. time. So you got to make sure that it's posted before then for it to count. Facebook's a little iffy. Sometimes they post automatically. Sometimes, again, those takes a few days as well. The Patreon's really simple. You're just going to go to the Sirenicide Patreon page, which is patreon.com/Sirenicide. You're going to go there, and it'll give you a title and a comment box. In the title, you'll just put My Sirenicide Review, and in the comment box, you say whatever you want. Now, keep in mind, these reviews do not have to be positive. I want to make that clear. If you want to critique the show, you're still going to be entered in the contest. We welcome all types of feedback. Negative feedback helps us grow the show in a more positive direction is the way we see that. Now, the polling of the name is going to be on Facebook Live that night of November 23rd. That's why it's important by 3 p.m. that day, that's Central Standard Time, that your review is in. That's going to be another ICE episode. So you'll be able to, as you can tell, this is scripted, by the way, and I'm not over-editing this. I don't believe in jump edits and things like that, so I want this to come off as organic, because that's the way a lot of these episodes are going to be. It's not always going to be me. Sometimes it'll be me and a few other members of the production team, and sometimes it's going to be a special guest or two, so bear with me. I know you're used to listening to our really great production that has a lot of time and effort poured into making it sound wonderful, but right now you're just listening to me talk, which can be unbearable at times. But again, we're going to be pulling the winner on Facebook Live. Now, we're also going to be posting that special ICE episode to announce the winner. So if you missed the Facebook Live feed, you can go back and watch it on our Facebook. It'll be posted under our videos. Or your normal episode that will air that off-week Thursday will have the winner announced within it. And as we get closer, there'll be promos saying, don't forget, November 23rd's off-week episode is going to be, the winner is going to be announced to our contest. So now that we know that there's a contest, why do I want to enter it, huh? Well, what do you win? Well, here it is for the super fan. Here's a super list. The first part of the prizes is any piece of our art. So if you go to Sirenicide.com and click on the art gallery, everything that our wonderful artist Christina and some subpar art that I've done will be there. And you can pick any of those tiles, whichever one you want. Just let us know, hey, I like the episode art for mini episode 2. I like the episode art from season 1, episode 3, that kind of thing. Any art you want, you let us know once you've been drawn as the winner. And we're going to take that art, we're going to have it printed out, and not just on crappy Xerox paper, I promise. We're going to put on some nice high-gloss photo paper for you. And then we're going to sign it all from the cast, the production cast and the production crew. That's in-house Sirenicide, and there's 6 of us. And we're going to send that out to you. And we'll frame it. And it's going to be accompanied by a $50 Amazon gift card. So you could care less about our crappy artwork hanging on your wall. At least you could go get a gift card and buy whatever you want to your heart's content. Now, here's my favorite part of the prize pack, which is the fact that you're going to get a character written into an episode of the show during the main season of Season 3. So, this is going to give you the option to have this character either based on you or maybe an idea you have. Now, it's not going to shape the story because most of these stories are already in the works, but we do have a few characters that aren't named yet that are going to be playing some roles that we need. So you would get a chance to be that character, and we'd give you the details on what episode that's going to be in. So you're going to get to choose if it's girl or if it's guy, if it's completely based on you, and you can even name it after yourself. That way you can tell your friends, you see that? That's me. There it is. So you can even voice it. How that would work is you could find a little studio close to you to record the lines. If that seems way over your head, you would be surprised what you could do with just your iPhone with the blanket over your head. We don't recommend that as much, but we're going to work with you if you win to do as much as we can. Or you can have it voiced by your favorite voice actor. If there's someone on the show that you really like, we work a lot with a couple of the No Sleep voice actors. If there's somebody that you really would like to voice your part, you can let us know who that is, and we'll do our best to work with him or her to get them to voice your character. Now, we can't guarantee that, but we're going to work as hard as hell as we can, too. A character written into Season 3 based off you with the option to be voiced by you or your favorite actor on their availability. The fourth thing. 2 Sirenicide t-shirts, one red, one black. And they're front and back t-shirts. They're really comfortable. They say the name. They got our old mascot Doc sitting there. If you don't know who Doc is yet, you'll learn. Black and red, not either or. You're going to get both. The sizes that we have these shirts in is small, medium, large, and XL. So whoever wins will contact you to get those details. Now, there's also a set of classic Sirenicide stickers that we have. And we say classic because some of you guys might know we were a metal band for years. And we have a few stickers that are no longer in print. And we're going to send you the set of those stickers with this prize pack. And the last thing, and probably the coolest thing, is Eddie Vile himself will sing 30 seconds of any song you choose in character just for you. So you get to pick the song, and we'll air that on a future ICE episode as well. So how does that sound? Wait, I see you. But Sirenicide, I already reviewed the show on one of those outlets. And now you're having this super cool contest giveaway? Man. Well, don't worry, superfan. Any name or username that has been associated with the review up until now, because there's only a few, is going to automatically be entered in this pool as well. So we're going to pull you because we love you, the few that have already taken the time and the effort to review us on Facebook. review us on Apple Podcast. There's no Patreon reviews yet, so you guys are already grandfathered in. And next thing, this is a global contest. That's global. No Regency restrictions. So if you're in Stockholm, Sweden, or you're in Madrid and you're a fan of ours, because we had a lot of worldwide fans, New Zealand, Australia, you are in this contest. I know, yes, we know, the shipping might be crazy on this to get this package out to you, but we don't care. Now you have until December 31st, 2017 to claim this prize. So if you're one of those people that your podcast episodes build up for a while and you hear your name announced and it's next year, you lost out. So make sure you're paying attention. We're also going to be announcing the winner on the social media outlets as well and try to get out to that person and track them down, because sometimes it's just going to be an Apple Podcast username that we pull. So we're going to try to find out who you are behind that username, and you can contact us and we'll get you the prize pack out. And that's about it. So make sure you check in the Facebook live stream and that you stick around November 23rd's episode to see if you won. And hang in there. I'll be right back with some other cool stuff. Okay, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed our little musical interlude. So here in the intensive care unit, on our agenda next we have is some thank yous. Now, again, I stated earlier, we do have a Patreon page at patreon.com/Sirenicide. And right now we have 12 of the coolest people in the world. 12 people that are up there with Jesus's disciples in our eyes, right? True supporters. And I want to call them out. Amber Blake. Now, Amber has even had the pleasure of being a voice on the show a few times. She might be a voice you've heard, maybe answer a phone or have a certain Dr. Norton here to see you. Amber has been a huge supporter. She has contributed the most to the Patreon so far and has been one of the main Patreons from day one. We are also followed by that of Michael Scher. Michael Scher has been, again, one of our Patreons from way back when we launched the Patreon, so I want to thank him. John Goings, or JP as I know him, and Waylon, and then, of course, our super fan, who you'll see all over our social media sites, Rose. We would not be where we are without you, Rose. You have been an amazing fan, and you're still out there every day spreading the word about our amazing medically induced gospel. Also want to give a shout out to Jay, to Teresa, to Tommy, to Christina, to Amy, to Joe, to a guy named Eddie Vile. All great Patreons that are supporting and helping keep this production alive and going. Again, if you want to join them, we would love for you to be part of the select few that support us at our home on Patreon. All right. So in this show in the future, we'll also be answering a few questions here. Now, again, we will mark those questions under spoiler. That way it doesn't spoil someone who, might stumbled across this recording but didn't get a chance to finish where we are in the seasons. Right now, again, we are in the midst of creating Season 3. We got a lot of cool things coming up your way, a new title card. There's a new description. If you go to Apple Podcast, or if you go to our Facebook page, you can see that description's already been put out there. A certain gentleman is, spoiler, I'll give you a second. You gone? If you're still here, you're going to get spoiled. Leave. I said leave. So a certain guy at the end of Season 2 is no longer with us, so his name has been pulled out of the sole purpose of this description for the show. We mourn his passing. Let's take a moment of silence. All right. And with that, we have our new description. So if you get a chance, pop on over there and tell us what you think about it, because we can always change it. Next thing is reviews. Now, reviews is a part of that beautiful thing, support. And support is, that's right, crucial. So I want to read a few reviews real quick, and then we'll call this a day, and you can get back to your regularly scheduled other podcast, and we'll have a new mini episode for you this time next week. So let's start off with my favorite type of review, a negative one. This is a beautiful 2-star rating review, and it's from PT Mauled on Apple Podcast. I think there's a good story buried in here somewhere, but the voice acting makes this impossible to listen to. There were a few episodes that had a seasoned actress I recognized from the No Sleep podcast, and I really enjoyed those episodes. I hope this was a sign of things to come, but alas, it was short-lived, and I just can't suffer through any more of it. All right, so that seems like it would hit you in the heart, right? And Kimbo, I guess this is how they say their username, is in the same sentiment. Titled 2-star review, Acting So Bad. The storyline might be interesting if the acting wasn't the absolute worst. The main actor is the worst of all. Man, I love Finis. How did that happen? ? With expletive. I can't even listen to it. There are so many great voice actors doing podcasts right now. No excuse, period. I recognize one girl from No Sleep, and she was the only good thing about that one episode. So get you some talent and try again, please, period. So I want to address both of these concerns because, again, if we don't have reviews like this, we can't grow and go forward. Now, I'm going to take a little passage again here from the Reverend Kimbo and say, and quote him on, there's great, quote, great voice actors doing podcasts right now, no excuse, unquote. There's a huge excuse. And it's what makes the world go round, unfortunately. And it's money. Good voice actors cost money. And this is an amateur production. Make no mistake. It is a very amateur production. But we are growing, and anybody that's been sticking with the show can tell, I'm sure, a huge jump from Season 1, Episode 1, The Ambulance Man, which has been downloaded over 20,000 times. Thank you very much, our listening audience. And our last mini-episode. And you're right. There's this wonderful girl named Jessica McAvoy, who I'm assuming you guys are referencing. But there has also been Nicole Goodnight and the wonderful Erica Sanderson. So there's been a couple females from No Sleep, our great friends over there, that have come on the show as guests. But most of the acting is portrayed by the in-house cast. And we are all honing in our craft and getting better at our craft as we go. So hopefully we can address some of these acting issues. We take your concerns in and we're moving forward. Also, you don't have to, it takes a lot to get out there and publicly say if you're upset with something. So sometimes something might bother you on the show, but you don't want to say it on Facebook or you don't want to put it in a podcast review because, you're not an internet warrior like some of these guys. You can always email us. We've gotten a couple emails. We had one from a gentleman that I'm not going to name. And he said that the iPhone sound was bothering him. And we have addressed that. Going forward in our future productions, we are no longer using a lot of the iPhone effects. Now, to keep continuity up, if a character that had an iPhone sound or clicking or noise before this time, we went ahead and kept that just so, it makes sense. But moving forward is something that we are working on, and as well as drinking and smacking, because that does get on some people's nerves, but sometimes you need it. Again, I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to let you guys know that this is a very strange medium we're playing in these days. The last time audio dramas were this big and this huge, we're talking about the 20s through the 50s before television made headway. That was the glory days of radio audio and Foley sounds behind people reading dialogue. And that's what we're back to with this. And we love it because Matthew Finis and Vima Boeing and these people look different in your mind than they do in mine. And the way they act and their mannerisms and the environments that they drive through and that they interact in. They're so immersive, but you get to paint them with your imagination. And that's something some of us haven't been able to do since we were kids. So if someone's eating or someone needs to take a long, dramatic pause before they give you the horrible news. It might get a little annoying. Like, why is this guy pausing? Why is it breaking? Well, it's not a movie. You can't see the emotion unfurrow off of his brow, so we have to give audio cues. But we do work with people. But at the end of the day, we are creating this production selfishly for us. We love what we do. We love what we write. We love the images that we get to put out. So we want to take cues from our audiences and make that work with us and move forward. And we are open to suggestions, and we will work through them to build a better production for you. But we also want to make sure that we have a story that is near and dear to our hearts and that showcases our talents and what we want to do with them and what kind of production that we want to create that we want to sit back and listen to as well. So, with that said, let's end on a positive note and read some good reviews. And luckily, with a 4.5 rating out of 5 on Apple Podcast, we are making headway with positive reviews. Let's see here. It's a Big Boss Snake 713. Nice name. I was impressed on the first episode. After that, I was addicted, and I wait every 2 weeks for a new episode to release. Thank you. I will be a long-time subscribed listener. Can't wait for the next episode. I can't wait to see where this Matthew character goes in the story. We'll see where Matthew goes. There's a lot of ones. I like this one. It's titled Amaze Balls. That's pretty cool. The attention to detail is excellent. I love all those characters. Really invested into this series and can't wait to see what happens. Great job so far. And there's a ton like that. Again, I'm not going to sit here and keep patting ourselves on the back. You're more than welcome to go read them yourselves, write one yourself, and get entered into a contest so you can get some really cool prizes for yourself. And with that, I'm going to close out today's episode of The Intensive Care. And again, thank all of you guys for your support. And we look forward to giving you something in here next week. Goodbye. All elements of Sirenicide are copyright 2017 Atrium Dynamics. Please visit sirenicide.com for more details.